Gene Hackman, one of Hollywood's greatest legends, was found dead alongside his wife, Betsy Arakawa, in their Santa Fe home under mysterious circumstances. At first, it seemed like a natural passing due to their ages. Gene was 95 and Betsy 64. However, as the investigation unfolded, strange discrepancies raised alarming questions. The maintenance workers found the couple's bodies, but something didn't add up. No signs of forced entry or trauma. But Betsy's body showed significant decomposition, suggesting she had passed away several days before Gene. This troubling timeline prompted authorities to classify their deaths as suspicious. On February 26, 2025, the world learned of Gene Hackman's death in a way that didn't sit right. For days, no one had heard from the couple, and their absence became more noticeable with each passing hour. It wasn't until maintenance workers arrived that they discovered the couple's bodies. Their home, in the quiet town of Santa Fe, had become the site of a mystery no one could have foreseen.
Hello, my name is Ron Begay. I'm the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I'm here about past 10,000 waves. I think we just found one deceased person inside a house. What's the address here? There's no address. I'm going to wait for you at the gate. I'm going to wait for you to please send somebody really quick.
Okay. Are they awake?
I have no idea.
Are they breathing?
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see them. She's laying down on a floor from the window.
Okay. Are they moving at all?
No, dude. They're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Okay, my units are underway, okay?
Authorities were quick to respond, yet what they found only deepened the mystery. There were no signs of forced entry, and both Hackman and Arakawa appeared to have died in their home without any external trauma. But the decomposition of Betsy's body raised immediate alarms. It was clear she had passed away days before Gene, but what had caused it? There was no way to jump to conclusions, no obvious signs that could point to an answer. But this wasn't just a case of old age catching up with them. Investigators found themselves looking for answers to questions no one had expected to ask. Could the deaths have been the result of something more than natural causes? Were there environmental factors in their home that contributed to their untimely passing? It was Gene's daughter, Leslie Hackman, who stepped forward to speak about the father everyone thought they knew. She broke her silence in a heartbreaking statement that left fans and the media reeling. According to Leslie, her father had been in exceptional physical condition, especially for someone in their mid-90s. Despite his age, Gene Hackman wasn't your typical senior citizen. He didn't sit around or wait for the inevitable decline. Instead, he kept an active lifestyle, practicing Pilates, doing yoga, and keeping his mind sharp with quick wit and clear thinking. Leslie had always seen him as remarkably spry and active. There was absolutely no indication that anything was wrong, she said, her voice breaking as she described how her father had been living life to the fullest, especially in his later years. This wasn't a man who had succumbed to the frailties of old age. For Leslie, the loss of her father didn't just feel like a sad passing. It didn't make sense to her. Dad was remarkably spry and sharp for someone his age, she said, emphasizing how his health and mental clarity contradicted the unexpected tragedy. To her, it felt like a deep, inexplicable shock. This wasn't a man who had been on the decline. Leslie's vivid portrayal of her father's vitality left the public wondering how things could have gone so wrong so quickly. Leslie's statement wasn't just about her father's health. It also painted a picture of the deep and enduring love between Gene and Betsy. The couple had been married for over 3 decades, a rarity in Hollywood, where marriages are often fleeting. But Gene and Betsy's relationship stood out. Leslie emphasized how crucial Betsy had been in Gene's life, particularly in maintaining his health and vitality. Leslie described Betsy as more than just a supportive wife. She was Gene's rock. I give all the credit to his wife, Betsy, for keeping him alive and thriving for so long, she said. She was his rock, his advocate, and his best friend. Betsy, though not as publicly known as her famous husband, had her own successful career as a classical pianist. Friends who knew her spoke of her as cultured, intelligent, and fiercely private, traits that complemented Gene's more intense public personality. Their marriage was built on mutual respect and love, with Betsy playing a vital role in helping Gene leave the pressures of Hollywood behind. The timeline of their deaths remains the most perplexing aspect of the investigation. While Betsy's death seemed to have occurred days before Gene, no one could explain why. Was there an environmental factor, something in their home that caused both of their deaths? Authorities are still investigating. Preliminary findings suggest that the couple may have passed away under circumstances far different from what anyone expected. Investigators have been careful not to speculate, but the timeline remains confusing. Why was Betsy's death so much earlier than Gene's? Did he succumb to grief after losing her? Or was there something else involved? Toxicology reports are still pending, but the investigation continues to unfold slowly as questions remain unanswered. The suddenness of Gene's death shocked even those closest to him. Dennis Quaid, a longtime friend of Gene's, shared a conversation he had with Gene just days before his passing. "He was in great spirits," Quaid said. "He was telling me about a new woodworking project he was starting. There wasn't even a hint that anything was wrong." This conversation only added to the confusion surrounding his sudden death. Gene seemed in good health, both mentally and physically, so how could he have passed away just a few days later? For many, it didn't make sense. His death felt so out of the blue, his last conversation was filled with excitement and enthusiasm. What happened between then and the discovery of his body? Gene Hackman's legacy as an actor is unmatched in Hollywood. With 2 Academy Awards and 3 nominations, Hackman's career spanned 5 decades. He was known for his unforgettable roles in films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, but his impact on cinema goes far beyond those iconic performances. After retiring from acting, Hackman thrived in ways many wouldn't expect. He became an accomplished novelist and pursued a quiet, fulfilling life in Santa Fe, away from the Hollywood spotlight. In his later years, he found peace in woodworking and painting, hobbies that allowed him to live authentically, far from the demands of fame. He had become a cherished resident of Santa Fe, contributing to local causes and building a legacy that wasn't just tied to his acting career. Even in retirement, Hackman's commitment to living a meaningful, quiet life made him an even more revered figure in his community. As the investigation continued, Leslie Hackman made a heartfelt plea for privacy. She urged the public to refrain from speculation, respecting her family's grief as they tried to process the loss of their father and stepmother. "We understand the fascination with my father's life and career," Leslie said, "but we ask that people refrain from spreading unfounded theories during this difficult time." The Hackman family, already reeling from the shock of the deaths, asked for time to mourn in peace, without the added burden of speculation. For now, they just wanted answers that only the ongoing investigation could provide. Forensic experts have weighed in on the complexity of determining the cause of death in this case. Due to the significant delay in finding the bodies, crucial evidence may have been compromised. Dr. Eleanor Garrison, a forensic pathologist, explained that in situations like this, determining the cause of death is much harder when there is such a delay in discovery. With toxicology reports still pending, the public and the Hackman family are left waiting for clarity. Until then, the investigation continues to piece together what really happened inside the couple's home. If you appreciated this thoughtful coverage of the investigation and Gene Hackman's life, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let's continue honoring the legacies of the greats in a way that respects their story.